Steve, there was something really interesting that you mentioned and that kept coming up in the conversation about how we've moved from the post-World War II era into this new dimension of tribalism. Can you explain that for us?
On what point? I mean, why did the post-World War II era kind of fade away, or what is tribalism like, and why is it arising, or both together in one answer?
Yeah, can we do a little bit of both?
Okay. I think the post-World War II order kind of got tired with age. It's like 70 years old, and it is successful. It achieved certain ideals: the system of the United Nations, international law, global trade, globalization, the growing wealth around the world. If you stand back a bit, there is a problem with poverty, but if you look at the number of human beings since 1945 who have emerged into middle classes and wealthy classes, everybody, I mean, I was in Thailand the other week, and in one of the cars on the SkyTrain, every person in the car had a cell phone. And these are not all wealthy people. We have created vast amounts of wealth for humanity. People are living longer. Sanitation is up. Cities are very inhabitable. That's all a success. So people then may take that for granted. However, some people are left out, and we have the demands of rulers like Putin in Russia, Xi Jinping in China, Trump in America, other people who want to take power. And in order to take power, they need to have an emotional bond with people. What's an emotional bond that's not universal? What's local? What's local is your ethnic, your cultural, your religious, your tribal heritage. And you can motivate people. You can get them to either think about themselves selfishly, but more easily to think about other people as being a threat or beneath them. So we have new opportunities for political leaders to arise by emphasizing our tribal loyalties and identities. And we need to remember that humanity, for 5,000 years, 10,000 years, we basically have lived in tribal groups. Even our ancient religions like Judaism or Hinduism or Confucian thinking in China, Buddhism coming out of India, have kind of overlaps with tribal communities.
And something else that you very eloquently explained with many, many charts was that the data has been there for quite a while. The economic indicators showing this divide growing. You showed the US, but I'm sure that mirrors across other countries.
In Brexit, there's a chart I didn't show, which I had in France before the presidential election. It overlaps all the provinces in France which have very high unemployment and serious economic conditions. That's where Marie Le Pen got her highest vote.
And why didn't we notice?
Marine Le Pen, sorry.
Yeah. How come we didn't notice if the data's been there for decades and decades and decades?
Well, the easiest thing to say is this is another accusation, like the famous French writer Zola, j'accuse. It is the elite that didn't pay attention because they didn't care about these people. Hillary Clinton dismissed them as deplorable, as xenophobes, as racists, as homophobes, as Islamophobes, as bad people, which is an indication of the mindset of the Hillary Clinton elite. They don't care about these people who lost out in 2008. They're suffering from opioid addiction. They don't have jobs. Their families are breaking up. And the people with the glitterati, the Hollywood and the Wall Street people, don't care. So they didn't even look at the data. There was a book by Charles Murray, who was a conservative scholar, in 2012, which started to put some of this data. Charles is a friend of mine, so I kind of picked up on it. But he saw this in 2012. His book was basically ignored by the elite.
And something else that is common across the elite is now, post all of these different votes, is this reluctance to kind of accept what has happened and moved on, given that one of the basic liberal values is this understanding that democracy is the best way to do things. So democracy has worked. We've heard from the people that we hadn't heard before. How do we move forward? Well,
one of the things that's gone wrong is the elite has misused and taken over the word liberal, because this elite is not liberal. It is left. It is intolerant. It has an ideology. The essence of the word liberal, going back to the 19th century in England and America, is open-mindedness. A liberal person is flexible and procedural and open-minded. The current elite is very much of the left. Its intellectual heritage goes back to the Jacobins of the French Revolution and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, where what you do is you create a mental idea of the general will, and then you impose it on society. So if you're Hillary Clinton, who thinks she's smarter than everybody else, and you know what's good for America, and you run across some American who disagrees with you, You ignore them because you're smarter than they are and you know what's good for the people. It's a paternalistic, patronizing, elitist notion of a right to rule. And so they're absolutely angered and frightened by the rise of these people who say, we disagree with you and we don't like you. They don't know how to accept criticism. Whereas a true liberal would be, presumably, would be prepared to say, I mean, it's the old sort of English thing about how I may disagree with everything you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Voltaire. Yes, that's right. Sorry, it was Voltaire.
So in a sense, it's a misplaced sense of noblesse oblige, almost kind of.
Well, it's worse than that, because it's not noblesse oblige, because there's no oblige. It's noblesse, and what's the French word for entitlement? Right? It's I am noble, and therefore everybody needs to bow down. It's aristocratic. That's what it is. All you people out there in society, you owe me deference. And you must listen to me because I am your patron, I am your lord, I am your don in the Spanish sense, you know.